Do have three going in your top 11, starting with Matt Corral, then Kenny Pickett, ending with Malik Willis at number 11. So kind of walk us through those.
Yeah, here's the deal. Like, Matt Corral is my QB1, and he is the only quarterback I currently have with a first-round grade. So that would lead you to believe that Kenny Pickett and Malik Willis aren't first-rounders. They will end up going in the first round almost certainly as we sit here, because as we know, teams always move up and take chances on these quarterbacks. I think they're both second-round guys for different reasons. They both have a chance to be really good. But here's the thing. With the Panthers and Matt Corral, you're banking everything on owner David Tepper wanting this franchise quarterback at the expense of fixing an offensive line, which desperately needs fixing. So Corral is not in a great situation, for being honest, here with the Panthers, just because he's going to be asked to do everything. That said, don't be surprised if it happens, because David Tepper is known for a lot of things, like having a lot of money, not known for his patience. And then we have Kenny Pickett going to the Broncos a few picks later. Vic Fangio, hours before he fired, basically said, listen, if we want to compete in this division, we need to have a quarterback as good as the other quarterbacks in this division. Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and even Derek Carr. They don't have that right now, so taking a quarterback here would make some sense. Fangio has since gone, so they have to figure out the head coaching situation as well. And finally, Malik Willis going a few picks later at number 11 to Washington football team. Taylor Heineke's a fun story. Ryan Fitzpatrick barely played because of an injury. I don't think that Taylor Heineke is the long-term solution there. So if you want someone who has huge upside, and Malik Willis is probably the biggest upside guy in this draft, extremely raw, has some things he has to work on. If you go to a place like Washington, you have to understand that Taylor Heineke has to start next year. You can't force Malik Willis out there, almost take the Patrick Mahomes approach in Kansas City and then go from year two. That would be a good landing spot. But again, I can't stress this enough, you can't put these kids out there and let them take a beating and then expect everything to be magically fixed just because you drafted this guy with a top 15 pick.
Okay, so, I mean, it's interesting this year. Obviously, we saw a lot of the guys go in the first round last year, immediately start playing here. Maybe a little bit different. I mean, when it comes to your rankings, you talked about Matt Corral being your number one. We had Brady Quinn on yesterday who said, look, I think it's Kenny Pickett. Walk me through your rankings and just kind of the jump that you feel like there is between these guys.
Yeah, so right, this group, it would be fun to sort of rank this group compared to last year's class, which had 5 first-rounders, and all legitimately should have probably gone in the first round. So this year, Matt Corral's my guy at number 1. He's a first-round talent, probably a mid-round pick if we're trying to put a grade on him. Kenny Pickett and Malik Willis. Kenny Pickett for a different reason. He's 24 years old, ton of experience, huge jump throughout his pick career. He's the top of the second-round guy for me. Then Malik Willis is the huge upside guy in the middle of that second round there. Carson Strong, I wish he were healthy. His knee has been an issue going back to high school. The first half of the season here, he struggled with his lower half. Still played pretty well, but the knee is going to be a concern for NFL teams. I would have him as a first-round pick if healthy. Right now, I have him as a bottom of the second-round guy. Sam Howell, I wish he had come back to school. That's a conversation we can have later if you want. But he came out, and he didn't play great. And I would imagine he would admit as much. So I have him as a late second-round guy as well. And Desmond Ridder is a high upside potential guy, a lot of athleticism, makes a lot of plays with his feet, makes a lot of plays on the run, just a lack of consistency there. And I think he's a day 2 guy, late round 2, early round 3 for me right now.
Since you brought it up, I guess.
Do you want a sports network that delivers everything that matters about the game? The highlights, the picks, the instant analysis, no yelling, no fake debates, no politics. Hit the subscribe button and never miss a moment.